Now at 6, we have winter weather still working through the region. Not only winter weather advisories, but wind chill advisories as well. Taking us into tomorrow morning, we'll start diving into the forecast with first weather coming up.
Plus, we'll take a look at road conditions in the 4 states as temperatures continue to drop. Also, an area aimed to shelter Joplin's homeless population has been shut down despite low temperatures. We'll tell you why. And more travelers are facing delays and cancellations as they try to get back home from the holidays.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Happy New Year to you all. Thank you for joining us for the first edition of the KOAM News at 6 in the new year. Well, 2022, unfortunately, starting off with a bit of a bang with Arctic temperatures rolling in and wintry weather making roads slick. We do begin tonight with meteorologist Nick Kelly on what's happening right now.
Pretty easy to see when we switch things up and bring up 7th and range line, Chris. The camera, it is iced up with plenty of freezing drizzle accumulating on the lens throughout the day. And we were worried that we would see quite a few slick spots, but surprisingly, according to KDOT's site, most of the roads in that light shade of red are drivable, although we still have some light snow flurries and maybe a little freezing drizzle trying to come down in a few spots. But I will say between Yates and Buffalo around the US 75, that is maybe a little bit of ice and maybe a little bit of snow trying to cover the road. And not much to show across southwestern Missouri either, except for a stretch of 49 working across Vernon County. That's starting to get covered partially with maybe a little bit of a freezing drizzle and some light snow flurries trying to take hold once again. But winter weather advisories, they're going to hold on until the midnight hour for much of southeast Kansas until 6 a.m. Once you hop near 69 and working into southwestern Missouri north of 44. But this is the other problem. Wind chill advisories for a good portion of the area until 11 o'clock tomorrow because the Arctic front, it has clearly passed on through, but we've yet to get the main brunt of the system to pass on through. But this upper wave is going to work across the Central Plains tonight, and that is going to bring another quick shot of some light snow for some. And cold temperatures for everybody. We're near 11 already in Iola, lower 20 south of Interstate 44. But some of us will go into the single digits tonight while we drop to 11 near Joplin. And with the wind chills advisories in effect, Chris, you can feel like 0 to about -10 with that north breeze in action tonight. We'll see when things will start to clear on out coming up in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. And as he mentioned, as those temperatures continue to drop, roads going to begin freezing over. We spoke with officials yesterday who urged drivers to just simply stay at home if that's at all possible. However, if you do have to travel tonight, here's a list of where you can find the latest road condition information for wherever you may be going. If you're in Missouri, you can hit up traveler.modot.org. Kansas is candrive.org. Over in Oklahoma, you can visit oklahoma.gov/ODOT. And in Arkansas, it's idrivearkansas.com. And if you missed any of that, don't worry. We've got links to all these sites on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. They're also available in the KOAM News Now app. Earlier this week, we told you about plans for Lincoln Heights, a proposed tiny community in Joplin for homeless people. Well, as of approximately 8:34 last night, it's been shut down. The site at the old botany shop in Joplin was meant to offer shelter to houseless Joplin residents as temperatures drop, but those helping out say they were told there were some issues with the building and Joplin's code of ordinances. Community volunteers were out today trying to get things like meals and coats to those who need them.
Well, certainly there's a large concern because we have more people living on the streets in Joplin than we have available beds in our available shelters. So there will most definitely be people outside sleeping in single-digit temperatures right here in our city. That's heartbreaking.
And we reached out to Ryan Stanley on why the city decided to shut down the project as temperatures drop.
You're organizing a facility that is there to keep people safe. The city has to ensure that that facility is a safe facility. If you're housing people and you don't have running water, if you don't have the normal safety protocols, then you, through your big heart, you might be putting people at more risk.
We'll hear more on this tonight on the KOAM News at 10. More travelers are facing delays and cancellations as they try to get back home from the holidays. Airlines canceled more than 2,300 U.S. flights today. That brings the total since Christmas Eve to more than 13,000 cancellations, according to FlightAware. United Airlines says it's had to scrap flights because of the spike in Omicron cases. Southwest says winter weather is forcing it to suspend operations at airports in Chicago. More than 40% of flights at O'Hare were canceled Saturday. Delta Airlines projects 200 to 300 daily cancellations this weekend due to dangerous weather conditions and the COVID surge. Travel disruption came after more than a week of widespread cancellations. Federal officials are warning threat actors may take advantage of the upcoming anniversary of the January 6th U.S. Capitol breach. It's according to an intelligence assessment issued Thursday to state and local officials. It doesn't cite any current specific or credible threats. The assessment says conspiracy theories about election fraud continue to resonate among domestic violent extremists and could again inspire some to promote or commit violence. It said lone offenders are the most likely to exploit the upcoming anniversary. We do take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Sergeant Robert Rapp served in the Marines during Korea as a radio operator. His hometown, Welch. We're proud to recognize Sergeant Robert Rapp, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, learn more about other heroes, or if you'd like to nominate one of your own at any time, all you need to do, just head over to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 6, France has added the U.S. to its COVID red list. France is adding the U.S. to its COVID-19 travel red list. On Saturday, France announced new rules, including mandating that unvaccinated travelers from the U.S. will have to quarantine for 10 days upon arrival. Previously, they were required to self-isolate for 7 days. Those passengers will continue to need an imperative motive to travel to France and should have a negative antigen or PCR test conducted 48 hours before departure. New rules enter into force on Sunday. A new development in the battle against ovarian cancer and shedding extra weight reduces the risk of severe COVID. Elise Preston has some of the day's top health stories.
Weight loss through bariatric surgery is associated with a 60% lower risk of severe COVID-19 infection. That's according to a Cleveland Clinic study, which shows patients who have weight loss surgery cut their risk of hospitalization from coronavirus nearly in half. Stem cell scientists in Los Angeles have found the origins of a common ovarian cancer. They used cells from women who had the disease to model tissue and discovered ovarian cancer often begins with cancerous lesions in the fallopian tube linings. The findings could help doctors determine which women are most likely to develop ovarian cancer in the future. And a battle of the sexes may be taking place as a fetus grows in the womb. Researchers in Cambridge say the father's genes drive demand for nutrients, but it is the mother's genes that control how much nourishment is provided to the fetus. Doctors believe this tug-of-war of sorts could explain why some babies grow poorly in the womb. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Well, a little later, our What Day Is It has a special meaning for today.
But first, everybody wants to know when we're going to start warming up and when we're going to clear things out as well. We'll get right to the forecast next. We are still dealing with our storm system across the region, so we're just going to dive right in because there's still quite a bit to talk about, even though this isn't a huge winter storm by certainly compared to past winter storms that we've seen throughout the decades. But we still have winter weather advisories for much of southeast Kansas until midnight. But once you hop near the 69 corridor and north of 44 in southwestern Missouri, they're still going to hold on until about 6 o'clock going into Sunday. Then on top of it all, the wind kicking in and bringing in the much colder air. Look at all these wind chill advisories for a good portion of the area until 11 o'clock as we go into Sunday. So even though we saw the brunt of the rain and a bit of a wintry mix, especially in our northwestern counties to start the morning out, the brunt of this moisture moved out, but we're still dealing with now random snow flurries and some light freezing drizzle, even though all of the above is a little bit too small to be picked up on the radar. Otherwise, we're not seeing at least any heavy precipitation across the region. But as far as temperatures go, a big switch. Going from New Year's Eve with highs in the mid-60s to today, where we had midnight highs in the 50s, and then we just saw the numbers just continue to tank throughout the course of the day. And that has led to some road conditions that we're trying to manage. Thankfully, not a lot of roads seeing issues, but if we take a look at our map from CanDrive site, we do have, between Independence and Neodesha, US 75, that's partially covered with some snow, maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle too. And we'll also keep an eye out for areas from Buffalo to Yates Center along US 75, not to mention US 59. Let's say southwest of Bronson and to the west of Hepler. Those are also kind of partially covered with a little bit of snow and maybe a little bit of ice. Much of southwestern Missouri, our corner at least, you can see not much to show other than a stretch of I-49 across Vernon County. It's partially covered, or at least mostly clear, maybe a few spots of snow and a little bit of freezing drizzle, but no big glaring issues on the major roads. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that as we go throughout the course of the evening. But right now at Joplin Regional, we're cloudy, seeing some light snow flurries around now, so a nice change of pace compared to the freezing drizzle we had throughout much of the afternoon. 18 though, with that northwest wind at 14, it feels like 4 degrees outside. We're already close to 10 around Iola and Yates Center, lower 20s south of the interstate. We're all getting set up for quite a cold night. Not to mention, it feels like 5 in Joplin, -4 already in Iola and Yates Center. These are numbers that will continue to drop throughout the night. So even though we'll be in the teens throughout much of this evening, I think our areas northwest of Joplin and Pittsburgh will be into the single digits tonight with everybody else. We'll pound them out around 11 degrees. But at least we're not dealing with too much in the way of severe weather with the system either. Yeah, we had rain to start this morning, but any severe weather, that's a big issue for parts of the Deep South and the Tennessee Valley as we go through the rest of the night. But we are seeing the colder air building in behind the cold front, and we're waiting for this sky, this upper level low to clear out. But once it does, we're going to finally see things clear out as well. So as long as that upper level wave still in action, we'll hold on to the cloud cover going into tonight, and any snow chances out west we'll try to pass on through. But if any snow can try to accumulate, we're not looking at big amounts by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, let's take a quick look at Snow Tracker. You can see no big glaring amounts, a dusting to maybe ½ of an inch at worst. Otherwise, we'll go from a cloudy start to our Sunday. But look at how fast we'll want to clear things up by tomorrow afternoon. I think we will see returning sunshine as we go into the afternoon, but a north wind at 10 to 20 starting the day out, lows around 11, 21 by noon, and highs near 25. We're going to be thankful to see those numbers rebound, but starting tomorrow morning with temperatures as cold as they'll be, we'll see wind chill values anywhere from 0 to about 10 or 11 below 0. Then, thankfully, the numbers will continue to improve as more milder air starts to roll back in. We're quiet Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Let's go 40s Monday and Tuesday, 34 Wednesday. Then I think another system will come on by, Chris, by Thursday. That could give us some snow and another shot of colder air. But we're just taking it one system at a time. We'll continue to keep an eye on this one as long as it's in play this evening.
It seems like the first official day of winter came today because it's been so mild over the last month. So
I know. I mean, it was only a matter of time before Mother Nature got the hint and brought us back to reality.
Yeah, and that she certainly did. Nick, thank you so much. Journey Sports, Danny Terzer joining us. Kansas Shrine Bowl rosters were released today.
6 local players have been selected. That's great to see. We have the details on all of those. Plus, the Missouri Southern women are on the road for their first game back after the holiday break. Those highlights and more next. The Southern women are off to a 7-3 start to the season. The Lions are back in action this afternoon for the first time since the Christmas break. On the road against Northwest, both teams 4-1 in conference play. Lions strike first Maddie Stokes for 2. She finishes with a team-high 15 points plus 7 boards. Mallory McConkey with some big-time early shots in this one. She knocks down a 3, then fights her way inside, gets the tough shot off the glass. Northwest up 19-9 after 1. McConkey stays rolling, but in the third quarter, the Lions go on a little run. Stokes here again. Then Burkstoffer takes the pass. She hits the 3. Missouri Southern falls short though, 61-51. Kansas Shrine Bowl rosters were released today, and 6 local players have been selected to play in the game and will represent the East team in this year's game in Pittsburgh. Representing Frontenac, Cruz Blair will play on the line. Blair is a 3-time All-State player and helped lead the Raiders to a state runner-up finish this past season.
I found out by getting on my phone, and I had Coach Smith and some of my other coaches tell me congratulations. It's always been a goal, and I've always wanted to play in the Shrine Bowl. It's great. I'm glad I get to. Wish there was other guys out there with me from the team, but I'm happy to be there.
Galena's Brett Sarwinski has been selected to play as a defensive back. He's the 3rd Sarwinski brother to represent Galena and play in the Shrine Bowl. His older brothers Nick and PJ also made the team, but they weren't initially selected.
I was very excited, I have 2 older brothers that got to play in it, and when I found out I got to play in it, that was awesome. Keep carrying on the tradition for the Sarwinski family. I think finding out that I was initially selected, that's something I can joke around with them about for forever now.
Joining those guys on the roster, Cody Schock from Columbus playing on the line. Schock is an All-State player and is committed to Pitt State. Linebacker Brecken Troike from Girard. He had over 100 tackles this season and was an All-State selection. Colton Lacrone will represent Chanute, a first-team All-State player, as a defensive lineman, and Independence's Davis Merrick at kicker. A bowl game action continues today. Oklahoma State playing in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Top 10 matchup against 5th-ranked Notre Dame. Fighting Irish up 7-0. Adding to it here, Chris Tyree wide open. He takes it 53 yards to the house. Notre Dame leads 28-14 at the break. Tay Martin does damage today for the Cowboys. 3rd quarter, Spencer Sanders finds him for the 5-yard score. Cowboys trail by 7. Then back to Martin, this one for 8 yards. His 3rd time in the end zone. Tie game at 28. Cowboys add a few field goals, but in the 4th, Kevin Austin hit in stride. That puts the Irish within 2, but Oklahoma State holds them off, completes a huge comeback to win 37-35. Arkansas faces Penn State in the Outback Bowl. Scoreless as the first quarter winds down. Rocket Sanders in for the touchdown. Gotta show this play here. Sean Clifford hits Parker Washington. He lays out for the one-handed grab. Razorbacks down 10-7 at half. But they put up a big 3rd quarter. KJ Jefferson keeps, walks it up the middle for the 8-yard score. Arkansas on top. And then Sanders gets in from 1 yard out, his 2nd of the day. Arkansas gets their first New Year's Day Bowl win since 2000, defeating Penn State 24-10. We'll be right back.
Well, if you get through today, you'll never do it again, right? Well, if you're feeling this way on January 1st, well, you've got a hangover, and you're not alone. New Year's Day is also National Hangover Day. Queasy stomachs and headaches often follow a night of consuming too much alcohol. There are a lot of folk remedies to prevent and cure hangovers, but scientists say most of them don't work. Drinking plenty of water does tend to help keep your body hydrated, which may fight some of the effects of a hangover. Meals rich in complex carbohydrates and protein can also slow absorption of alcohol into your system. However, if you really overdo it, all the water and carbs in the world probably aren't going to save you. Time is the only proven remedy, so I'm sorry, you're just going to have to suffer through it. And before you reach for hair of the dog, doctors say drinking more alcohol is the worst thing you can do. So the second half of this, Saturday is also National Bloody Mary Day, but if you're celebrating the first half, you might want to forget the second half. So I'm getting a little too old to celebrate New Year's other than going, woohoo, and going to bed. But for anybody else,
I'm just wondering, who put those 2 holidays together?
I did not.
I know.
I did not. Somebody
you just presented to the world, sure, but
somebody did it. But I did not have anything to do with this. Did you celebrate New Year's?
I did celebrate New Year's.
Did you celebrate in style?
I'm feeling good.
Okay. Nick, did you celebrate in style?
I napped. It was good, though.
I was watching some Netflix. I wanted to be up through midnight, and I was. So, Good night to stay in and watch Netflix because it's going to be downright cold.
Yeah, we're going to hold on to the cold as we go through tonight and even tomorrow. And with the storm system still passing through, we'll hold on to some random snow flurries, maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle mixing in, but mainly a shot for some light snow showers Sunday morning. Then we're dry. We're going to see the sun return for tomorrow afternoon, though. But some of us will be in the single digits tonight with the Joplin area around 11, but we'll all be back in the mid-20s tomorrow. But fortunately, we're all back in the 40s starting Monday.
Looking forward to those 40s. It's going to feel like balmy weather when we get there compared to now. Danny, Shrine Bowl stuff. We got some good standouts participating.
Absolutely. It's great to see 6 local guys that are going to play, and it's going to be in Pittsburgh at Kearney Smith Stadium this summer, so that's exciting as well.
Looking forward to that. Well, guys, thank you so much. That is our time for now in this new year. Don't forget, you can find us online, KOAMNewsNow.com, or in the app with the KOAM News Now app, and we'll see you back here at 10. Thanks for making us part of your night.